You are now tuning in to the Evolution Daily Podcast.
What's going on, you damn peasants? Welcome back. Welcome back to the Evolution Daily Podcast. I am here with a guy who I met years ago. We've kept in touch a little bit over time. Ladies and gentlemen, the 5 of you women that are listening and all of you gentlemen, please welcome Dan Silverman. Thank you for being here, Dan.
Hello, everybody, and thanks for having me, Aaron. I'm a big fan of yours.
You got a good energy, man. You're a positive guy. I thought that when I met you, you were very socially intelligent when I did meet you. We'll talk about how we met because I think it's interesting. You guys can follow Dan. If you look him up on YouTube, you can find him at the Miami Matchmaker on YouTube, and his website is matchmakingmiami.com. So you guys can check out everything that he has to offer. And real quick, I do just want to ask, do you really only work with clientele in Miami or what's the deal?
For the most part, but I'll work for people outside the state, but it's usually I'll send them to my colleagues. It's just more efficient that way because my network is here in Miami, you know?
So I got obsessed with a show on TV, and I was obsessed with this show. And I will get roasted. If the audience knows what this show is, I will get roasted for this. It may be one of the top 5 most effeminate things about me that I was obsessed with this show. Bro,
don't be ashamed of it.
Bro, $1 Million Matchmaker with Patty.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Bro,
oh my God.
Dude, that one, and then her other one, like Matchmaker Millionaire or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Bro, that show is so entertaining.
It is entertaining. It is, yeah.
It's entertaining, and as guys like in our respective industries, I loved seeing how terrible some of the guys were, how terrible some of the girls were, and then the other sides, like where you see like real connection happening, and you're like, oh, that guy's doing that thing right, and it was interesting stuff. How does one become a matchmaker? What led you into this?
I'll tell you that, but I got to break your heart for a second. You ever watch the show Cheaters?
I remember it, yes.
That was one of my favorite shows. But just like with Santa Claus, you find out that it's fake. It's actually not real. And then it kind of ruins the show for you. So I hate to say it. She did admit one time in an interview that her real clients would never, ever want to be shown on TV being humiliated. It's all bullshit.
No way. I mean, you probably have these... You know, sure, sometimes it's like somebody that wants to kind of be a celebrity. There was some like low-level celebrities on there. But for the most part, you probably have like CEOs of Fortune 500 companies. And you're right. They don't want their kids
They don't want to be on there being
humiliated.
No, it's a show. It's all entertainment. She's even admitted that. So the way you get into matchmaking, I mean, I would suggest it's probably the same way that you get into dating coaching. Something just sort of throws you into it. It's not... I don't think that you grow up in school thinking, oh, I'm going to be a matchmaker when I get older. A lot of the matchmakers in the industry usually come from families that have to do with that. I was put into it because I was doing dating coaching. I was heavily involved with the pickup artistry business way back in the day, like over 10 years ago. I started in 2006 doing like the dating coaching, old school style boot camps, like when Mystery came out, when Mystery was popular back then. But I had a colleague who was a woman, and we shared the same web designer who was really crap. So we bonded over that. We weren't making a whole lot of money doing dating coaching because at the time it was still sort of early. But she got into matchmaking, and she was making so much more money than she used to. And she suggested, hey, you should get into matchmaking. And I was thinking, you know, like, why not use all the skills that I've learned in pickup artistry, but use that and do the work for guys that don't want to go out and do the pickup. So I'd literally go out and pick up women from men. And that was a great selling point, you know? And that's kind of how I transitioned. It was from a suggestion that she had. And then I got super involved with the matchmaking industry. It's a lot more easier going. I mean, imagine, okay, when you go and you approach a girl in your mind, you're like, I could get sex out of this woman, right? Yeah. Or a girlfriend. Well, imagine you could make like $1,000 or $3,000 from every single woman you set up with a guy. Now you have that on top of it to motivate you to go out and meet women. It's wonderful.
That's what it was like when I was filming Infield. Every infield was probably like $2,000 into my business more than
Wonderful.
likely.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's like
more motivation.
depending on what you're selling with that infield and whatever. I think from everything you just said, I think I just became a matchmaker actually.
Do it. There are no straight male matchmakers that I know of. I've talked to 2 of them in my entire career. I know like 2 of them personally. They exist. I haven't met them in person. They are straight.
Yeah.
But it's mostly run by women, typically older, like, over 50 years old women. And the guys that are in there are generally homosexual. Nothing that's wrong with that. But like, I'm like the only guy at these conventions. It's great. You feel like a rooster in a hen house.
You're going.
Yeah, and I love hanging out with them, man. It's fun.
You're going to conventions?
Yeah, man. They've got conventions. So I belong to the Matchmakers Alliance, which is like a loosely affiliated organization where we all help each other out. And so what we do on top of matchmaking is there's also like kind of a side hustle where we send matches from our database to other matchmakers. So matchmakers in that industry will call us and say, hey, do you have somebody for my client? He's this, that, and this and that. And then you can send them off for a small fee.
I love the idea of the cold approach because here's what I'm finding to be interesting about this. Well, there's several things here, but I tell guys all the time when you go up to approach a girl that one of the best things you can do when you're early on to try to like relieve that anxiety and everything is literally just aim for this to go nowhere. Aim for it to go nowhere. I'm going to go up. I'm going to ramble. I'm going to try to clown. I'm going to try to throw in some jokes. And I don't care what happens. I'm going to try to burn it to the ground kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so that alleviates a lot of guys' anxiety. I'm thinking about the fact that I would never feel a single ounce of anxiety going up to women, hitting on them, and then being like, hey, look, so I got to be honest with you. Like, I run a matchmaking service. You looking to meet a real quality guy? I'm a complete fuckboy. I'll ruin your life. But I can hook you up with a real awesome guy that'll give you kids.
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny. That's how I think you could do that just as a way to sort of playfully disqualify them if you're picking them up for yourself. I'll do the opposite if I want to set them up with somebody else. Because as a man doing the approaching as a matchmaker, they immediately think that you're hitting on them. So I very quickly have to disqualify myself as a potential suitor right off the bat. So even in the opener, I'll say like, listen, I'm not hitting on you. Just letting you know I'm a professional millionaire matchmaker. I just wanted to know if you were single. You look like you might be great for my client. I think that you would probably really like him. And I'll start it from there. And the key word is millionaire because every woman's ears light up when they hear that.
Yes. So now you, from what I am an expert because I've watched a lot of Millionaire Matchmaker with Patty.
Yes, I'm sure.
So I'm an expert in the field. So dude, you like build up databases of both men and women, right?
It's mostly women though. Mostly women on my database, but yeah, both.
The database is mostly women and your clients are going to typically be men, right?
Typically, I get calls from both, but I'll usually I will usually take on men because a lot of the women that come to me for matchmaking, their standards are unrealistic. And I'm not going to take on a client that I don't think I can match. Like if I don't think I can set them up with at least one match a month, if I don't feel like I can guarantee that, I'm just simply not going to take them on. And I've actually had to refund because a client was just so much of a pain in the ass. I just couldn't do it. Like 3 days in, I remember refunding $15,000 to this one woman who was 39 years old and just wanted the moon and the stars. I could not help her. I sent her so many guys who would have been a great match. And my female friends, because I got a third opinion on this, second opinion. They all said, no, these guys are fine. Hell, I'll go on a date with them. But this woman wants to have kids. She wants a guy who didn't have kids, who is at least 6 feet tall, at least makes more than she does. She makes $150K a year. Women have certain expectations or desires in men that are just not really realistic because they believe that men are looking for the same things that women are looking for. And when women attain a certain socioeconomic status, they don't want to marry or link or hook up. I'm not even say hook up because they will hook up with guys of less social status. They don't want to marry or get in a long-term relationship with a guy who is less on the social hierarchy. So it makes it very difficult for working with those women. So either I will send them to somebody else who's willing to work for them, or I'll try to offer dating coaching as a service and teach them how to be more realistic before I actually do matchmaking.
Yeah, you just got to look him in the face and say, listen, you're a pig. You're old.
I could tell you don't have any female clients, Aaron.
You're a damn pig. No, you're right though. You're right. And it's what it is it is. It's the moon and the stars. I deserve the world. Daddy told me I deserve the world. My whole life I've been propped up. And look, at a certain level, you got to get realistic about what you're going to be predisposed to be a match for. You cannot create a universal match. You can merely set them up with their universal match. Find the universal match for them.
But Aaron, you and I both know though that women don't know what the fuck they want. And I want guys listening who are listening to this right now, especially like men who are feeling really insecure about where they're at in life and, oh, I don't make 100K, I'm not 6 feet tall. You guys have to understand something. These women that come to me for matchmaking, I guarantee you they've hooked up with a guy for one night at a nightclub with a guy who made like 20K a year, or even still lives with his mom and she didn't even know better because she was sexually attracted or aroused by the guy. So, I mean, look.
And this is why even though I use online game, I'm going on a date with a girl tonight that I hooked up with the other night from online game. I love online game. This is why I believe cold approach is king in so many ways, because there are just so many girls over the years that myself, my clients, other guys I know, that they would have gotten the left swipe 15 times from this girl that they met in person. And the woman was able to now feel things, right? Some people are also just not that photogenic. I really believe I look better in person than I ever do on a photo. I really believe that about myself. I believe that about women, some women, right? I had a girl the other day, first time I ever went on a date with a girl that I cold DM'd on Instagram. I had never pushed enough to get a girl to go on a date with me from Instagram. And she showed up, and I hit her up because she was attractive in photos. But I was like, oh, my God, you're gorgeous. You are, like, way better looking in person. And so you can make people feel things in person. And and they're going to be attracted to the way that you make them feel. Yep.
Totally agree with that. That's why game is so important. I mean, obviously you want to self-improve, looks, money, status, all that jazz, but game is ultimately what will convey your value to women. If you don't have that, if you have looks, money, status, but no game, either you're going to be so boring that the women are just going to totally lose attraction for you, or you're going to get totally played without knowing this stuff by, women that don't have the best of intentions.
Yeah, and something I've been big on lately that I've been talking to a lot of guys about is I've always talked about communication, right? Having a confident tone, having a good, you don't have to be screaming at a club, screaming at a bar, screaming on a date, but they need to be able to hear you, right? And there is this thing that I know everybody's experienced, whether you're watching an infomercial or somebody on TV or something, where you don't even know why you should like their product or whatever it is. But then when somebody speaks so confidently about themselves or about the product they're selling, you're like, why do I want to buy these coins right now? I don't even know these coins are worth anything, but this guy's just shouting about why these coins are amazing. So
you just like the guy too.
Yeah, exactly. It's like we like people that speak confidently about themselves and speak confidently, period. So when you're able to master that, now you stand outside of just your little square photo on the dating app. And it's something that every guy needs to work on, is sounding like a boss, sounding like somebody that other people should pay attention to.
Cold approach will always be there for you. If you're complaining about online dating, you can't do anything about it. You can still meet them in person. I'm sure you guys have heard the saying, like, one in the hand is worth two in the bush. Yeah, she could get that, fuck boy online anytime that she wants. But sometimes, it's just more convenient to get with that guy who's right there, who's right in front of her in person, who has great logistics and she gets really along really great with that guy. You know what I'm saying?
This girl who I went on the date with a couple nights ago, who I'm going to be hanging out with again tonight, we're going to see Tim Dillon. And do you know who Tim Dillon is? Oh, dude, he's the best comedian in the world. He's like just blown up in the last year, I would say. He's amazing, man.
Is he better than Dave Chappelle?
Yes. I have been killing it with online game. I've been going on basically a new date every single night. But more importantly, my students have been killing it with online game as well. Dominating on Hinge, Bumble, Tinder, all of these platforms. How have they done it? How have I been doing it? With Online Game Decoded. This was formerly known as PST. We decided to clean up the image a little bit. So if you already got PST, you got OGD. And if you don't have Online Game Decoded yet, you need to sign up. A lot of information out there is just kind of telling you what you should do online. What we've done is we've taken it a whole nother step further. Inside Online Game Decoded, you're going to receive over 30 online game breakdowns showing unique openers. So many of you guys send awful openers. I even hear this from girls. Guys are terrible at opening. It's going to give you unique openers. It's going to show you how to stack your conversations in a way where you're always moving towards a final destination, because guys are just rambling on and on. You get a little friend, just having a little conversation. You got to move to the end finish line. Our conversations show you how to do that, ultimately how to close. Again, you're getting over 30 breakdowns as well as 6 modules, including a module on how to craft the perfect profile. Many of you are putting out a billboard for an offer that nobody wants to buy. Online game profiles are your billboard. This is your offer. What are you putting out to the world? And so many of you are getting it wrong. You're spending hours a day and getting no results. Online Game Decoded is going to get you those results. Head over to onlinegamedecoded.com. The link will be down below wherever you're listening to this. Now enjoy the rest of the episode. Yes,
No, that's a bold statement, man.
Bro, Tim Dillon is.
I'll look him up. I'll look him up after this.
I want you to look up Tim Dillon Airbnb War and just he's great. This girl the other night, I told her what I do. I told her I do the podcasting. I teach guys, like confidence, all this stuff, whatever. She's so fascinated.
Confidence or pickup? Do you tell her pickup specifically?
I don't use the word pickup. I don't use the word pickup.
No, would not do that either.
Here's the deal. Here's the deal, though. I'll say this. I don't use the word pickup, right? Say I teach guys how to meet women, go out to bars, go out during the day, like talk to girls. I explain what pickup is, but I don't use the word like, I am a pickup artist coach.
Right.
MPUA, Aaron Alexander.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. When you actually just explain what it is, they're like, oh, that's cool. Like, that's actually really cool.
It's a
Guys
bad
need
stigma
that.
to it, the pickup thing.
And then this girl's beautiful. And she's telling me this. She's like, oh my God. She's like, when a guy comes and hits on me at the bar, and this girl was like, we were talking very sexual. She's like, I will literally get wet. She's like, I think it is the hottest thing when a guy comes up to me at the bar and starts hitting on me. And I was like, why? What do you mean? And she's like, I don't know. It's just like, I'm out having fun and you had like the balls to come up and just fucking like start trying to fuck me. And I think that's so hot. And she's ranting about how, in her own like girl lingo, she's ranting about how hot it is when a guy hits on her. And it's just like it's with radical feminism, not just feminism, radical feminism, and with everything happening in the world, it feels like a goddamn crime to make eye contact for more than 5 seconds with a girl. And that's just not the case. It's the worst little subset of people that are going to be horrified by a
microaggression and all that bullshit.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's
Walking up
insane.
saying hi, sexual harassment. It's total bullshit, bro.
It's insane. So when you got into all of this, I mean, what was your life before and then after discovering game, pickup, from the time you started looking up online, how to get better with women, dating, all of this?
That's a really long story, but I'll give you the short version because I do get asked that a lot, actually. My results with women were pretty shitty when I was in high school. And before that, I was like the super nice guy. My mother was a feminist. She taught me how to be the nicest, sweetest guy. She was the type of mom that would say like, well, if you like her, tell her how you feel and give her flowers. And I would literally follow her advice. And, obviously it didn't work. We all know that doesn't work. Love my mom to death. And she still disagrees with everything I say to this day, but I still love her. So I was like, grew up as the nice guy. I finally got some attention from women because I discovered I had a talent for acting. I actually pursued that as a career for a while. And I got pretty popular for that. I was on stage a lot. So I got my first girlfriend towards like late high school, but she wound up cheating on me with my best friend, which was like the worst heartbreak I ever had. It took like 4 years to get over that totally. It just totally shattered my world, man. And I didn't know why it happened. It happened out of nowhere. Imagine hearing a woman tell you that she loves you, and then 2 weeks later, you find out she's been fucking around with your best friend. So it's like 2 betrayals. So that's when I started going online and researching, and I found the old school. I don't know if you've heard, this is before your time, but it was a website called Alt Fast Seduction. You ever heard of that?
No.
That is like the original forum, like the original lair. All right.
Wow.
You know what lairs are? Do you remember lairs?
Yeah.
Okay. So lairs are really big back in the day. And this was like the original forums where pickup artists would meet and
The word lair.
Yes. Let me see how I can get that pussy. We were all into there
lair
lurking.
is so funny, dude. Lair.
I know, it's so fucking creepy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. Right. But see, that's why we all gave ourselves pickup artist names. So you understand why, we would all call each other a moniker. Like mine was Jester back in the day. Everybody has their like little nickname, like from a video game character, like an RPG, right?
Yeah.
The reason why we had that is because we didn't want people knowing we were on these forums, like exchanging information, writing out field reports, so we didn't want anybody to know our name for anonymity. That's how those names came to be in the first place.
Mhm.
All right. But anyway, it's totally getting off topic here.
No, that's awesome. I love this shit. Love it.
Yeah, the history of the pickup artist community. All right, so yeah, in those forums, they had little separate sections of like, hey, here are different cities where if you want to link up with a wing. I was on there and I noticed that it was very small, but there were a few of us in that like subsection of forums where we actually would want to meet up. So we started meeting up and learning this stuff and getting together. But it took me like 4 years of being a keyboard jockey, not doing a single first approach, just absorbing as much information as I can. And I'm sure a lot of you guys like listening or watching right now have also gone through this phase. Listen, do your cold approach as soon as you can. There's only so much you can learn by studying. And we used to say this back in the day, in the pickup artist days, that an ounce of actual practice is worth a pound of research, learning something online or learning from a coach. Practicing is the most important thing that you can do. Okay. Learn a little bit, learn some new stuff, but always keep practicing. Don't just learn as much as you can and try to be perfect before you go out. You learn through mistakes. You learn through getting better with patterns. All right. So I went out and I founded the Miami Lair. I don't know if you ever heard of that back then. But yeah, I started the Miami Lair a long time ago, and I started teaching boot camps because I actually started to get kind of reasonable at it. Like I could pretty much consistently get numbers. And back then numbers were a big deal because we didn't have online dating. We didn't have stuff like that. So if you got a number, it was actually a pretty good success because you're very likely to get a call back. Now they just hand out their number, their Instagram or whatever, like candy. It doesn't mean as much anymore. But yeah, people were really impressed by that because, I was never really a good looking guy. And I wore this little jester's hat, which was like,
did you wear it in the field?
I wore it in the field following Mystery's advice about peacocking. And you want to know what's fucking hilarious? I thought people were going to fuck with me, like worried about what people thought.
Yeah.
What happened instead is guys would get out of my way when I'd walk into the club like I fucking own the place. And women would walk up to me and be like, I like your hat. And they'd play with the bells and they would approach me. You know what I'm saying?
This is a time capsule. I love this.
This is a time cap. This is how it was back in the day. Pickup artistry was in its infancy.
Yeah.
Like at least applied pickup artistry. Because I know Ross Jeffries was doing this stuff back in like the 80s and stuff. But Mystery Method was not really around when we first started. He was up and coming. The game came out a lot later than that when it started to become a lot more mainstream. But yeah, man.
So you were already deep into all of this before the book The Game came out.
Yeah, and there were different little styles that we would learn from the forums, and we would just practice what we could find. But Mystery really was the guy that consolidated it into a method that had structure, and that like the engineer type of guys that have the worst luck with women, they're usually the worst, the really logical thinkers.
Yeah.
This finally came out and it was groundbreaking. It was earth shattering because it actually produced results for people. So all of us who are in this community, we have Mystery to thank for actual practical applied pickup artist theory, like how to pick up women. Anybody who wants to get into this, even if they just want to learn how to get a girlfriend and then get out of the game, should read the Mystery Method, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal, it really is a phenomenal book.
Yeah.
And one thing that I learned from Mystery that I will never forget and that I never, ever fall back on is Mystery said in an old video that I found years after it had been recorded. He said, in the way he speaks and everything, he says,
right.
I never kiss a girl out in the field. I never make out with a girl out at the field, in the club. I never do it. He's talking about how he never makes out with women in the club.
Yeah.
I do it every once in a while because it's like fun and crazy and whatever. But dude, I do not make out with girls on dates, and I do not make out before I actually start pulling a girl, because Mystery says, and it makes so much sense. He says that for men, when we start making out, we're getting hornier and hornier. We want to fuck. We want to blow. We're getting a boner. But he said that for the woman, that oxytocin release, that connection through the makeout actually breaks the sexual tension and makes her less likely
isn't that interesting?
To now come home with you. And it took me so long to find that video and to understand that. And now I never make out on dates, never kiss on dates. I'll do weird little shit where I will pretend like I'm about to kiss him, like we're getting really close, and then I'll like almost lean in and like Eskimo kiss or something and pull away, and the girl will be like, oh my God, like that kind of shit. And that gets him going. So yes, ode to Mystery. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
No, he's alive. He's alive and well.
Rest in peace. He's still alive, man. He's still alive. I'd like to add to that though, because I know a lot of guys that probably listen to you and me. A lot of them are really new. I don't want them thinking that they shouldn't make out on their dates. And the reason why I say that is because I totally agree with you. But I think when you get to be a more of an advanced level, like at least like an intermediate, where you are not afraid to convey sexuality intent anymore, I totally agree with you. But for guys that are afraid to like communicate sexually, I think that they should go for the makeout if they see the opportunity, just to get them in the practice of like being more sexually open with themselves, being more confident sexually, because you're probably able to get away with that because she knows you're the type of guy that could make out with her on the date, but you're choosing not to. Whereas guys that are just learning this stuff, they may get friend zoned all the time, but by going for the makeout rather than not, it would probably help them more than if they didn't do that. They'll just use that as an excuse not to actually have the balls to show some sexual intent.
I completely agree. And even this dialogue we're having right now is a beautiful testament to the fact that advice completely changes depending on the level of game that you're in. And I made a whole post about this the other day in my mastermind, which anybody listening, evolutiondailymastermind.com, if you're not in it, you are a fool. I made a post the other day, and I can't remember what I said to this guy, but I was like, for you and your level, I would say this, but for other guys, I would say don't do that at all. And I forget what it was, but you're spot on. So for example, there's this sort of people in the pickup community. Dude, I'm not even in the pickup community, man. I hate the pickup community. It's toxic.
I've gotten out of it a long time ago. Yeah.
Bro, I'm like not one of these fucking guys. When I see all these like pickup coaches beefing with each other and exposing the lay count of this other guy and like weird little shit.
I know who you're talking about, man.
It's all these guys. It's all of them, man. I don't even know which one you're referring to. It's like every low level guy, they like come for people, right? They come for me on my comments. Some kid the other day, he's like, what makes you, I saw your ad that says you're the best dating coach in the world. What makes you think that, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you're a fucking pleb. I don't have time for you, nerd. I'm like, I can look at your business model and see that you're broke. Get out of my face. So anyways, but
you're so goddamn entertaining, Alex.
A lot of the dude, you're entertaining,
you're so
man.
Fucking entertaining, bro.
You're an entertaining guy. Listen. So one of the things that they shit on is they shit on the idea of like spam approaching and mass approaching, right? Mm-hmm. And they're like, it used to be taught by RSD and all these people that you should spam approach, but that's dumb. That's like pathetic behavior and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, listen to me. For just what you just said a minute ago, for a guy that's just beginning, spam approach. Go to the next city over, go to every Target, every mall, every bar, and fucking approach until you're dead. Like, spam approach. And then, yes, later in life, when you've got 6 girls that you could be calling up at a moment's notice to come fuck, when you can go out consistently and almost, like not quite, but almost guarantee you're at least going to get a number that converts into something, right? Like, when you get to a high level, yeah, I'm not going to walk down to High Street right now and approach 100 girls. I'm just not going to do it right now. At my level right now, I'm not going to do that.
There's no need to do that anymore.
But early on, do it like crazy. Do it like crazy.
If you have social anxiety, you have a fear when talking to women, a mass approaching will help you get over that fear. You don't even have to try to take it anywhere. You ever heard the newbie mission?
No.
You've probably done it with your clients before, but essentially you go, when you go out, you say hi to literally everybody you walk past. You don't have to stay there and talk to them. You just say hi, hello, as you walk, like you're the mayor, like you own the place. That's like level 1 in terms of overcoming your approach anxiety. Level 2 would actually be like doing a functional opener, asking them like directions or where's the coffee. And although like, I mean, that's kind of like Justin Wayne style, you know? But like, you don't have to do that. The goal is not to try to like get laid or get a girlfriend. The goal is to get over your approach anxiety. So you are constantly in that area where you are putting yourself in situations where you're approaching and meeting women, because you know why that's really useful to have when you do that a lot, right? And you're like, haven't done it in a long time, and you go to the grocery store, that perfect fucking girl is there for you. You're at the very least going to be able to walk up and ask her like which of the oranges are better, because saying something shitty is still better than not saying anything at all, you know?
Yeah. And that opener is just a vehicle to be able to build connection. It's just a vehicle for connection. Yeah. And in my day game program, Thrive, which is no longer for sale, you can only get it in the mastermind. I have a video where I'm showing, I have this whole warm-up process I call Smile, Swagger, Socialize. And it's like a whole process I run guys through when they're first starting out. And the socializing is exactly what you just explained, the newbie mission. And for the first time ever, we filmed me doing it. And what I recommend is actually walking by a bunch of girls and complimenting them as you go with no intent. So literally just like, hey, I love your hair. And she's like, oh, thanks. And like, or like, you know, hey, I love your dress as you're walking by the girl, right? Thanks. And you keep going. Well, for the first time ever, we actually filmed me doing that. So my cameraman is like 15 feet behind me. He's filming me just walking by complimenting girls. And dude, you would now, I never knew this before, but you would now see on camera the girls like look back and they're smiling. They're so happy. Like you're making people's day, putting that energy out there, man.
Give them a dopamine spike, man. Women love attention. Most of them are, I mean, at the very worst, usually what happens is they just kind of like go on their phone or ignore you and keep walking. They're not going to like sit there and scream at you. It's so rare. I don't think I've ever seen that happen.
What's going on, man? I know that you're enjoying this episode of the Evolution Daily podcast. I would like to personally invite you into the Evolution Daily Secret Mastermind. Now, this is my inner circle. This is our tribe. This is our squad. What you get when you sign up for the Evolution Daily Mastermind today is you get access to our weekly group coaching call. I am present on all of these calls. You get your questions answered. I give a sermon. Other guys on this call are dishing out amazing advice. And what we've created here is a community that so many men need. You right now, you're into game. You want to start a business. You want to get jacked, but you're not surrounded by people that are helping you along that journey. Come get help on that journey. We have the most active and incredible secret Facebook group on the entire internet. There are guys in this group. The guys that have flocked to the mastermind are guys that are out taking action. They're winning at life. They post exclusive content. I post exclusive content daily. There is so much for you here in the secret mastermind. Click down below and you'll be able to find out more details, and you can sign up. We offer a monthly program, and then we offer a one-time lifetime membership to the mastermind.
And you're just putting positive vibes out there. So now you start radiating that positive energy, and people feel that coming off of you when you're in the club.
Yeah, well, going off to the original point of this, that's why game is an art form. It's not a science. It's an art form. I mean, there are parts to it that pretty much everybody agrees on, but there's so many different styles of ways of communication. Every woman likes something that's a little bit different and unique. What one method may not work particularly well in these kinds of girls will work better on other kinds of girls. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's so beautiful about it. You could study this forever and never know everything that there is to know about it. It really is a beautiful hobby to get into. It's great for self-improvement. It helps you with everything. It helps you with business. It helps you with making friends. It helps you with, growing a social circle, and it helps you get laid or get a girlfriend, whatever one it is.
Yeah, and I love what you said a minute ago. I'd never heard it phrased that way, where you said that you guys used to say in the old school PUA world that an ounce of action is worth a pound of research or a pound of theory. Mm-hmm. And so many guys cannot get that through their head. they think the worst is going to happen. And back to what you said about kind of walking through the club, saying hi to everybody, talking to people. Dude, the brain needs proof, not promises. This is like what I want that on my goddamn tombstone. It's like I had to show myself early on after just years of inferiority to women, years of like being the fat guy in my friend group, that when we met a group of girls, I knew, oh, well, that one's clearly not going to be mine. She's probably going to go with Steven or Dominic or whatever. You know, years of that. I had to just show myself that, yes, even if they weren't going to be attracted to me, even if they weren't going to have sex with me, I could speak to the hottest girls in the club and they're just going to be like normal people. You have to show yourself that over and over again. And then slowly you start showing yourself, oh, and now I'm asking for numbers, and sometimes I'm getting them. And sure, they're flaking, but they're giving me numbers. And now, whoa, this one's texting me back. I might have a date. And you just have to build that belief system by creating the legs to the table. And it's profound, man. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with cold approach pickup, and I think I always will.
That's good.
Be.
Well, you're in the right profession, man.
I go through so many phases in life. I think this would be a great discussion for you and I to have. Is I go through these phases where maybe it's because I meet a very specific kind of girl. Maybe it's like whatever I'm dealing with in life, where sometimes I'm like, I do see myself getting married, having children, being in a monogamous relationship with like a beautiful woman.
What's your age now? How old are you now?
I'm 30.
Okay, 30. Wow, really? You're having it kind of early. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
So I feel that way. I know that I do want children one day. I know that for a fact. And then I go through other phases where I just, whatever it was, like just a romp, right? Just a week of like killing it, hooking up with this girl, and just having appreciation for them as a soul, as a human fucking soul, where I'm like, I don't think I'm ever gonna settle down with one girl. I don't think I'm going to. Where are you at with that?
That's a very, very good question, because I go through the same kind of phases, man. I think everybody does to a certain extent. Sometimes you just want something that's a little bit more, just a lot more connection. I think I'm probably around that area right now. I'm not mass cold approaching. I'm also way, way more strict about who I'm spending my time with too. I'm really like protecting my energy right now. And a couple years ago, there was like a 5-girl rotation that I was messing around with. And it was extremely stressful because in order to maintain that, I had to put up with bullshit that I really shouldn't have put up with just in order to maintain that rotation. I actually got to a point where I had a panic attack over it. So I dropped 3 of the girls that were way more of a liability than an asset. And I kept the 2 girls that that were much better for me. But now, I mean, I pretty much ended it with the other 2. There's one that I could still kind of mess around with, but she's not, I mean, I don't know. I've been hooking up with her for so long. You get kind of,
Yeah.
kind of gets old. Besides, she wants something serious and I don't. But I don't know. Maybe one day I'd like to have kids one day, but I mean, I'm not seeking that at this moment at all.
Yeah.
But hey, if I met the right girl, I even say that too. My colleagues are all like, you're only a bachelor because you haven't met the right girl. And when you meet the right girl, you're going to fall in love and you're just going to melt like butter in her hands. I'm like, man, I'm a former pickup artist. I'm red pill aware. It's going to take a lot to get me in that situation. I don't say that. You don't want to be talking about that to like women in the industry about red pill or pickup artists. You can't talk to them about it, But
yeah,
I just say, okay, well, hey, maybe you'll set me up with one day, or I'll even tell, and it's the truth too. Like if a girl asks me what I'm looking for and I'm on a date, I tell her the truth. I say, I'm not looking for anything serious in particular. If somebody comes around and I happen to fall in love with her, great. I'm not an idiot. Of course I'm going to take her, but I just haven't met that girl yet. I haven't met the right girl yet.
And that response, what you just said there, that came so natural out of you.
It is true.
And that right there is the response, right?
Yeah, present the challenge.
Guys take this whole like full authenticity, full disclosure thing. They take it way too fucking far. A lot of women, when you just tell them right out of the gate, you have to, like, dude, that's another thing. Here's another thing. The game changes at different levels of advice. It changes also based on physical attraction as well. Like for men, it totally does. For example, I love this kind of idea, right? There's a lot of guys in game and in pickup that will be like, be very mysterious, hold back as much as you possibly can, and let the girl figure out the puzzle, whatever.
Yeah, I have a buddy like that.
If you're a dork, it ain't gonna work for you. It's not gonna work. Because look, if you're like a dorky looking guy and you're at a party and you're leaning against the counter, the party's packed and you're not saying anything, okay? You are gonna be viewed as socially anxious, an outcast, not participating, like not fun. Yeah. Now you're Ryan fucking Gosling leaning up against that table. You look like Jason Momoa, like without the fame. I'm saying like you're a male model and you're leaning against the counter and you're not saying much. It's like now women and people in general are like, oh, he's just like a man of few words. Like, what's up with Jake? Like, Jake doesn't really say much, does he? He's so mysterious. It's like the game changes also based on that.
Yeah, she's got to feel attraction for you for that mysteriousness to work. Otherwise, you're just invisible.
Yes, dude. Brilliantly put. Otherwise, you're just invisible. Exactly. Yeah. So, full circle back to what I'm referring to here with the disclosure, the idea of disclosure. If you are a 10 out of 10 looking man and you're on a date with a girl that's fucking 9 or whatever, like just using numbers here just because whatever, I usually steer clear from them. And you're with a girl that's like that's really hot, and you tell her, or lesser looking than you even, universally, like the world would agree, and you tell her, I'm just looking for something purely physical, but she's very attracted to you. It could work. It could work at any level. But for the most part, universally, what I always say is I am teaching men what is going to work 51% or more of the time. I'm not here to talk about the outlying advice to men, right? I'm going to teach you what's going to work 51% or more of the time. And 51% or more of the time, women are never going to want to feel like they're only being used for sex. So your response is, right now, I'm not looking for anything in particular. If I fall in love with a girl, if we have a great connection, then I'm open to more. But for right now, I just like to see where things go. Yeah. That's a brilliant response.
Yeah, and it's true, too. It's true. I actually, like, at this point, I don't know, maybe because I'm going to be turning 40 in a couple of years. I'm older now, maybe. I don't know. I like the connection. I actually like to spend time with the woman that I may be sleeping with. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to actually enjoy spending time with that person. When I take them out to invite them out with my friends, or if I'm going to go out dancing, they're fun to dance with. They're not a stick in the mud. They're not just good in bed and that's it. Like, I know that if I'm going to be sleeping with a woman, I want it to be on a regular repeating thing. And I want to actually spend like fun time with her and not just like fuck her and then never see her again. I don't blame guys for wanting that. Sometimes you got to get that out of your system. But like, if you're looking for something that's a little more of a longer term thing, then yeah, I mean, you can't just be like, I'm only purely looking for something physical, because, it might work, but you're probably never going to see her again after you do it because of the whole like anti-slut defense factor.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm right there with you when it comes to the connection. And you are right. I had to get a lot of just like one night stands, all that kind of shit kind of out of my system. Yeah. Now, if I have sex with a girl, I really want to keep having sex with her. If I've now
it's
made
better
that
like that. It's better when you have that connection with her. It really is, I think.
It's so nice, man. And now you like the person. So now when they're there and you guys decide to watch a show after and you're laughing together and you're talking, it's fun. This girl tonight, I didn't have to
I was going to say, it sounds like you're talking about someone in particular.
No.
Aaron's going to get married soon, guys. Watch out.
Bro, I already lost the love of my life. The love of my life is already gone. It's dead and gone. All I'm doing now is trying to fill the hole that she left inside of me.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, we've all started from there, man. Shit.
Well, and this was deep into the game already. This was like 2 years ago. A girl that I had about
2 years ago.
I had a girl that I had like a 1 year thing with. Okay. And I learned so much from losing this girl, though. I learned so much from losing her, from having her, from everything. But
I joke confessional.
I joke with my life coach, and I said this to her on the podcast. We'll call the girl, we'll call her Taylor, just random name, Taylor. so Hadia, my life coach, she's like, and then one day you level up and then you find somebody that da-da-da. And I was like, well, I've already had the best it's going to get from me. And she's like, no, Aaron, that's a limiting belief. And I'm like, no, it's not. I already had the best. This girl that I had was just, I mean, if I had to literally make
Aaron, you're putting her on a pedestal. Why are you simping? You're such a beta male, Aaron.
blue pill simp exposed.
Look at that. Exposed, Aaron's exposed.
Exactly. You liked a girl that's gay.
Oh my God.
Love is gay.
Yeah. Sorry, keep going, man.
No, but yeah, I mean, it's just, yeah, she was the one. She's as good as it's gonna get, and now I'm just trying to fill that hole. But, and that's okay, because there's a part of me where it's almost freeing. It's almost freeing that I really felt like I had the creme de la creme top, like you could give me any girl in the world, and even like sexually wise, like sexually, and then like physical, like attractiveness and stuff. You could give me a famous girl. You could give me Halsey or Ariana Grande or something, and there'd be a part of me that's like, oh, this is so hot because they're famous, but the sex ain't gonna be as good as it was with Taylor. It's just not gonna be. So
you're alpha widowed.
Exact. Oh, I love that, dude. I'm alpha widowed. You said something really powerful a little bit ago. You said protecting your energy.
It's very important, man. Yeah, very important. Especially when you have to talk, like you got to take a lot of shit when you are meeting women, you know, because some women are going to be vicious when you approach. Most women aren't. Some women are. And you're going to get a lot of haters, especially when you're doing shit that people get jealous of. And I'm sure you're very well aware of this, Aaron. Mm-hmm. But, you know, you have to take that. You don't want to be around someone that you're somewhat or even a lot emotionally vulnerable with. And you have to always have your fucking guard up all the time. You know, that's not someone you want to spend a lot of time with. You want to spend time with a woman that you don't always have to keep your guard up 100%.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be fucking dating a girl long-term if you can't be yourself around her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. And it does at a certain point in life when you are, whatever it is, running a business, let's say you even do have kids, you know, you have these life commitments that fill up. And over time, I would rather take for the next 6 months, I'd rather have sex with like 6 to 10 amazing girls that I enjoy hanging out with, that we hang out with regularly, than say, 26 new lays or something. It's like I do just enjoy the connection. I feel less drained energetically, even financially. You're less drained than all the new dates, all the new going out, all that stuff. And I think a lot of guys, if they really geared their life more towards connection, they would actually also even find that they have an easier time getting laid. Because I think the game is about, I think it's about connection, and I think it's about comfort in a lot of ways.
I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you think that every guy, no matter what, even if they're looking for a marriage, like something very serious, do you think they should go through a phase where they're hoeing it up and hook up with a whole bunch of women at once? Do you think every guy should go through that? I'm curious your opinion on that.
Yeah, it's a very nuanced discussion, because I would say that there's probably examples of guys who have not. One of the most outspoken voices in that of that opinion, I would say, of that lifestyle, would be Elliot Hulse right now.
Yeah.
Elliot Hulse, who I don't think he says that he's only had sex with his wife, but if he's had sex with more, then it's been like 2 to 3 girls, right? Like they met very young. And he just is totally against it. But he's coming at it from a very religious perspective and things like that.
It's also very naturally alpha too.
Yeah, he's very naturally alpha. I also think him and his wife had kids very early on. And so I do believe that also when somebody becomes the mother of your children and your life focus becomes those children in a lot of ways, I think things change. So I think he's coming from a very unique perspective in a lot of ways. That being said, yes, and yes. I think that to fully understand females, you must have dated a lot of them, hooked up with a good amount of girls, seen what you like, gone through heartbreaks, recovered from heartbreaks, hardened, and more aware. You used a term a little bit ago that I really liked. You said red pill aware. you must, in order to understand female psychology, you must be around a lot of females and have had these experiences. So to any guy, yes, even if you're thinking that you really want a solid foundation relationship, and if I say to you, well, how many girls have you been with? And you say, oh, like 2 or 3 throughout college when I was younger, one real relationship, and then a couple other lays, whatever. I would say, let's rack that number up a bit. Let's get some dates under our belt. Let's make mistakes. Let's see, oh, when I get too vulnerable with women, it really turns them off. But I thought vulnerability was the key. Vulnerability is great. Don't show weakness early on into a relationship. Don't put baggage. Don't put unnecessary. So go through. It's almost like the point of dating a lot when you're younger is to make a ton of mistakes. Make them now so that way when you're ready for your wife or your soulmate or whatever, you don't make them again.
Yeah, I actually agree with you on that. The reason why I ask you is because a lot of you guys that are watching are probably looking for that connection because you're lonely and it's out of scarcity. If you are able to attract women and you are able to have that option, because you don't need to get into this to become the world's greatest pickup artist. You know, you don't need to be Aaron Alexander. You don't have to. You want to get in this so that you have options. Simple as that. You don't have to get every woman that you talk to. You just want to be able to get one if you choose to look for one. And when you come from that place where you know that you can get somebody, even if it's been a long time, you're able to form a connection with a woman, not because you're lonely, not because you don't know when the next woman is going to come from. So you got to hold on to this one. You're coming at it because I've experienced a lot. I could go out. I could choose from among a bunch of different women or women I may not have met yet. I'm choosing this one because I believe this one is quality and I can invest in this one. I'm safe to invest in this one. And if this one fucks up or this one starts mistreating me or all of a sudden she changes, I have the confidence to be able to go back out there in the field. And women are going to respect that when you're dating them. So, you know, women are always going to shit test you. You know, they'll do that in a relationship too. You're not going to slowly kill the relationship over time because you were looking for that connection because you were lonely. She knows it. You know it. She loses respect for you over time and then winds up cheating on you with your best friend.
Yeah. Yeah. While you're an actor, while you're trying to perform at House of the Seven Gables.
Okay, bro. So right now you're at a spot in life where you need direction. You need guidance. You need coaching. I would like to tell you right now that I just reopened my 5-week mentorship program. Oftentimes I will close it for long periods of time because I get so many students on there that it's not really scalable for me to keep it open. But right now, if you're listening to this, then the 5-week Evolution Daily one-on-one mentorship with me is available. We're going to be attacking all areas of your life. We're going to be helping you to get into great shape, how to go out and meet women. I'm going to be holding you accountable, making you do approaches every single week. We're going to have you facing your fears, breaking down traumas, going from a guy that is currently stuck and doesn't know where to go to now being on an incredible direction forward and upward. Again, this is a 5-week mentorship one-on-one with me. You're going to be doing 5 one-hour calls with me, and we're going to be skyrocketing your life to the next level. This is all available over at evolutiondaily.com. You can go ahead and just click the link down below, and you will be able to access the mentorship. Sign up soon because this is going to close again very, very soon. I look forward to working with you on the mentorship.
Bro, I can totally see you being an actor. I can totally see.
I used to do children's theater acting too. Yeah.
Do you ever do it anymore for fun? Like just
I mean, I got my show and you know, I mean, I have a neighbor here who's a good friend of mine and he's a director. I told him, put me in any of your scripts. I'll do it for free. I'll just do it for fun, you know? Yeah. I love acting and it's really helped with pickup artistry and stuff. Cause I used to, you know, take acting lessons. I took it for college and stuff. I went to different theaters to learn it. It really helps with communication and it's great with storytelling. You know, the only problem with learning the acting and the theater thing is if you're good at expression, you could have a problem with the dancing monkey syndrome. So it's very important that with being, you know, highly entertaining and getting eyes on you, you have to be careful. You're not jumping through girls' hoops and being the entertainer. You actually have to like qualify and sexualized conversations, et cetera. But, you know, like we just talked about, it's nuanced. If you're somebody who's really good at this performing, you're going to have that issue with women for sure.
And something I do want to add on to that as well is that I would say that problem that you just said about like becoming the dancing monkey and all of that, I would say that maybe like 10% of guys or less even need to worry about that in game.
It's a quality problem too.
It's a very quality and unique and not a common problem, I would say. It's so the important thing is one thing I always say, record your own infields audio.
Absolutely.
You don't need video. Guys are like, well, how do I get someone to do video? Shouldn't I know my body language? Keep your chest up, keep your chin up, and your shoulders back a little bit, and your body language is fucking fine. Okay,
you go out with a friend who can record on a cell phone, or they're actually spy glasses that you can buy on eBay and put them on and records audio and video.
One time in Miami when Justin was making me wear those.
Yeah.
Bro, he was, dude, oh my God, I would get so mad and he would make me wear them. And then one time I go up, these were not made to be spy glasses. These were literally like action cam glasses with a camera
with the giant hole in the center. Yeah.
Oh my God. And I will never forget right where Ocean Drive begins on the north end of Ocean Drive. I walk up to a girl. I start talking. She speaks Spanish, but she's trying to speak English. She goes, why is there a camera in your glasses? And I go, I'm like, what? There's no camera.
Great.
There's no camera.
No, they make glasses, spy glasses that you literally can't see in the middle. I swear to God, they make them in China. You can get it on eBay. Just look for like the regular glasses. They look like real regular glasses. It's a tiny little hole. The video quality is terrible, but you can see the reactions and you can pick up audio, and it's really helpful for self coaching or whatever.
I've seen those ones. Yeah, I've seen those. And yeah, so listen to your audios, guys. I mean, that is maybe one of the, don't share them anywhere and whatever.
No,
if it's illegal, if it's illegal in your state, don't post them anywhere or
Some
don't even do it.
It's illegal. Yeah.
Yeah. All these different things, whatever. Look up the law, follow the law, whatever.
Thank God you said that, Aaron. Jesus Christ.
Lame. The law's lame. No, but yeah, so listen to your audios, because then like what you're saying, right? You can go back and look and hear yourself now and realize, why do I sound so monotone? For me, for example, I tend to turn monotone when I'm nervous. I discovered this about myself years ago. I turn monotone. Let's say I'm having like an uncomfortable conversation with like a roommate. Like I have like one roommate. He's my employee now, so it doesn't matter. But like or even in a set, I realized I would turn monotone. So recognize, what am I doing that I'm sounding actually fearful? Am I laughing too much when she says something that wasn't even that funny? These types of things are going to be very important. And most guys actually do need to be more expressive. Most guys are way too boring, way too, you're withholding way too much of your energy in the interactions. So you being Jester PUA,
Jesus.
You had to put, are you having like a war flashbacks?
I'm feeling my sphincter go.
Did you have to pull it back a little bit? Were you like being crazy out there and need to chill?
Yeah,
a little, or?
I used to have the whole dancing monkey thing. In fact, I even have some infield of me pulling a girl from the supermarket, and I was just like doing this the whole time. I'm like, my God, I'm over gaming. I'm being too gamey. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it would have been so much easier, so much smoother had I not done that and just chill the fuck out and just be normal. Sometimes you just got to be normal. Like if you've got attraction already, you don't need to be all showy and gamey, but like in a nightclub environment in particular, where everybody's drunk and girls are looking at the shiniest object, it is good to be very expressive. I used to have this buddy who I would go out with and wing. And he was, I mean, God bless him. I love him to death. He was a fat fuck. And this guy, you would look at him and think there's no way. There's just no way. This guy was one of them. I shit you not. This guy's one of the most charismatic guys I've ever met in my life. Okay. This guy could be a cult leader. All right. And it was legendary. He was able to pull women right off of the street in Wynwood. I live in Wynwood here. He's able to pull women off of the street in Wynwood in less than 10 minutes and take them to his car, fuck him, then come right back out. Unbelievable. And this guy never studied pickup. Never studied it. He's just naturally charismatic. But that's the thing. He was so expressive. He was a very emotional, impulsive guy. He had all the qualities of a natural. You know what I'm saying? Like most of them.
Yeah.
And just women loved to be around that. And he was sexual with everything, despite the fact that he was a big lubatar, or how do I say it? A big tub of lard. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. But yeah, it's wonderful to see things like that, because you're constantly hearing, at least right now, you're hearing on videos, yeah, you got to level up, or, women aren't going to be attracted to you. Level up, level up. You level up for yourself, okay? Because there are these guys out there that are just fucking amazing with women, and they're fat. They don't make that much money. They have natural charisma. It's amazing.
Okay. Wait, hold on a second. Hold on. I thought you had to be male model looks, rich, and also be a celebrity in order to have sex with a girl. I thought that was just like the way I thought that's how it was.
That makes it a shitload easier, but you don't have to have it to get laid. The 99% rest of us, we got to work. And dude, that's just how it is.
Your fat tub of lard friend, he got them feeling what they went out to feel. They go out to the bar. Bro, one of the saddest things I've ever seen in my life, and I've seen it 100 times, is a bored bachelorette party. You ever see a bunch of girls sitting there all dressed up in like dick hats and like all this shit, and they're just sitting there bored? I mean, women go out to have fun. So I've
never seen that. I've never seen a bachelor party that was bored before, ever. They're always having a great time.
Oh, dude, I've seen them bored all the time. But you know what? Maybe it's because I'm in Columbus, Ohio, so there's less like excitement here, maybe.
Yeah, exactly, man.
No, I've seen them bored a lot, and I always tell guys, I have a whole routine I actually teach about approaching bachelorette parties. It's wonderful, fun, it's amazing, and you can always approach bachelorette parties because the newbie mind is going to think, oh, big group of girls, that's intimidating. Really, they want stories. They want chaos. They want, like, remember that guy that came up and hit on you? Oh, my God. They're going to talk about it till they're 50 years old. I mean, they want those stories, so it's very fun and easy to approach them. But your fat friend, he gave girls what they wanted, which was fun. They got swept up in the fun. He's just owning who he is. He's making jokes. He's being charismatic. And before you know it, he's like, come on, we're going to my fucking car. She's like, what? Oh, my God. Oh, my God. And now they're going and they're fucking in the car.
That same guy actually took the bride of a bachelorette party and took the entire group over it, put her on his lap, and he started like kissing up on her neck. She's like giggling and stuff, but she's like letting him kind of like lick up on her neck and shit like that in front of the fucking girlfriends, and they're all laughing and shocked, like, oh my God, they're taking photos and shit. Can you believe that?
I'm picturing Jabba the Hutt with Princess Leia, like in her little bikini.
He's not that bad looking. He wasn't a schlub. He was fat, but he wasn't ugly. He was fat. You know what I'm saying? Like he still dressed. He dressed well for his size.
Yeah.
He took care of himself. Let's just say that. You know what I'm saying? But he was fat. He was not in shape at all.
Yeah. No, that's awesome.
Yeah,
well,
legendary
dude,
guy, man.
Hey, this was phenomenal, man. We keep the show at about an hour.
No problem.
Bro, you got to do the podcast again, man. I'm not just saying this because we're here on the call. It's one of my favorite episodes. I love talking about the old school, the layers, mystery, all of this.
I feel so old right now, man. Shit.
teach me more about the World War II. What was it like on the front lines?
Oh my God, bro. Yeah. Back in the day, man. Back in the day when women didn't have Tinder. Oof. They had to actually go out to get attention.
They had to. And I want to share this real quick before we go too. I want to make a video titled what one of this girl said to me in Miami. Actually, it was maybe about a year ago now. I approached this girl, classic, just like directional or something like that, maybe familiarity. Yeah. Approach her. She's got an accent. She's from Australia. I'm like, oh, I'm going to Australia soon, blah, blah, blah. Ask her if she wants to go get lunch. We're sitting there having lunch. And literally, like, just mid-conversation, this girl's hot. Mid-conversation, she just goes, I love this. And I'm like, what? She's like, I don't know. I can't do an Australian accent, so I'm not going to try. She's
all
like,
right, mate.
Oh, yeah, she's like, I, crikey. She goes, yeah. She goes, people, she's like, I love this. I'm like, what? She's like, people don't do this anymore. Like, we just met. Now we're sitting down having lunch. This is amazing. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, well, wait till you see what happens after this. No. I did not end up having sex with her. But she like ranted then about how cool it was that we just met out on the street. It's like, I now, as somebody that's done more approaches and like most humans, like on just by basic population and whatever, I've now seen over and over again that yes, some girls, they don't like being approached. Some of them. And guess what? It probably was never going to. Justin Wayne used to say to me, once a difficult woman, always a difficult woman.
I agree with that totally.
It's like these ones that that hated the approach and that were awkward and hated everything about it. That probably wasn't going to be your fucking wife, man, or the girl you spend a lot of time with and have fun with, right? It's the cool girls, like the one the other night that's like, I think it's so hot when a girl approaches me. So the point is, guys, get the fuck out there, put your balls on the chopping block, put yourself out there and see what comes of it. At least
tell 'em, man.
Find out. Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Dan, remind us again, because there are guys out there right now who they do run businesses. They do have kids. They're divorced. They fucking don't want to go out and do everything I'm teaching them. And that's okay. They would like to have a matchmaker. So tell everybody again how they can find your website and content.
All right. You can find my website at matchmakingmiami.com. And I do have a YouTube channel called The Miami Matchmaker. I do live shows, and I also have started a podcast on that. So come on and check it out.
Dude, can I be on your podcast, man?
Abso-fucking-lutely, bro. I want you to come in there and piss off all the feminists that watch my shit.
I'm booked. Yes. Hell yeah. All right.
The fanatical feminists, what you said, right? Because there are some feminists out there that are reasonable. They just want things to have like equal opportunity. I get that. I agree with that.
Dude, I mean, realistically, we're probably feminists. Like there's so
maybe
much,
the original term, right?
Like what it really means, which is just that like men and women should be equal in a lot of ways.
Equal opportunity,
Yeah. Like most guys actually are feminists. It's about what's been created in the last few years, which is the radical feminism. I think that at Netflix, you could actually get fired for making more than 5 seconds of direct eye contact with an employee. Like, this is the shit I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Crazy.
We are ending this on not a good topic, though. We could talk about this for 2 hours. Let's end it with something positive, right?
The world is going to shit. It's best we all just end it now. End it now before we have to get caught in the dumpster fire that this world is becoming.
Fuck everything, right? Literally fuck everything while you still have a life left, right?
Bro, you are right. I am a nihilist. I end up moving towards the most negative. Let's wrap up on something positive here. I want to ask you.
Let's do it.
I want to ask you, in all of your years, I don't want to put the pressure on you to give me the best advice you could give for a guy, but in all the years of being, a matchmaker, into pickup and all of this, what are just maybe some words of wisdom from the front lines for as long as you've been in the game?
Okay. I think the best advice that I can give for somebody that's listening to this and wants to improve, a lot of the time when they're listening to this and they're looking at folks like you, man, they're like, Jesus Christ, it's going to take me so long to get to that level, to get that good. Well, let me tell you something. Ultimately, even with very, very little game, you can find an amazing girl with enough balls. So if you've got the confidence or the balls, let's just say, you don't even have to have the confidence, but simply having the balls to talk to every single woman that you're interested in, you're knocking on enough doors that ultimately one of them is eventually going to open up. Obviously, you should learn game and get better, but having balls to approach is better than having all the game in the world, all the game knowledge in the world, and not approaching at all.
Love it. Love it. Absolutely. 100%. That's amazing.
Yes.
All right, bro. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Aaron. I really appreciate it. Thanks for keeping in touch, too.
Awesome, man. Can't wait to do your podcast.
Maybe I'll set you up with somebody one day for a fucking thing.
Dude, if you could get me my girl back from 2 years ago, that would be great. If you could, call her. I don't even know what you could do for me there, but...
Why don't you tell me what your girl is like, and maybe I can clone her.
Okay. All right. Perfect. All right. See you, man.
All right. See you, bud.